This happened a few winters ago during a snowstorm that ended up being worse than anyone expected. I was in my mid-20s at the time and living alone in a small house in Bum Nowhere, Pennsylvania. My wife was out of town for work and I'd planned to just stay in, shovel in the morning, and deal with it then. The snow started mid-afternoon. By early evening, it was coming down steady, thick flakes that stuck right away. I remember going out once around 6 to clear the porch and the first few feet of the walkway, thinking I'd stay ahead of it. That was the last time I went outside that night. By 9, the road in front of my house was completely covered. No plow would come through. I didn't see a single car pass. The wind picked up and the snow started blowing sideways, piling against the fence and the side of the house. Inside was quiet. I had the TV on low, mostly for background noise. It felt mostly like a normal night, but I was just aware that if something went wrong, I wasn't going anywhere. Around 10, I got up to stretch and I noticed something through the front window that stopped me. There were footprints on the walkway. They weren't mine. Mine were wider and messy from shoveling earlier. These were narrow and straight, coming from the street toward my porch. The snow had already started filling them, but they were still clear enough to follow. I stood there longer than I should have, trying to work it through logically. Maybe somebody walked by earlier before it got bad. Maybe they cut across my yard. None of that really lined up, but I didn't jump straight to panic either. I locked the front door. It was already locked, but I checked it anyway. Then I checked the back door. Same thing. I went back to the living room and sat down, telling myself I was overthinking it. About 15 minutes later, I heard someone knocking at my front door. I froze. The TV was still on, and I remember reaching for the remote and muting it without looking at the screen. Another knock followed, a little bit louder this time. I didn't move. I just sat there, staring at the door, listening to the wind outside, and the faint hiss of snow hitting the windows. Then a voice came through the door. "Amazon." That was it. No greeting, just the word. My first thought was that it didn't make sense. It was late, the roads were horrible, and I wasn't expecting anything. But I also knew Amazon drivers sometimes worked late, especially around the holidays. I stood up but I didn't go to the door. I stayed back near the hallway. "I didn't order anything," I said. There was a pause, long enough that I thought maybe whoever it was had already left. Then, "I have a package for this address. I need a signature before I leave." I asked him who it was for. Another awkward pause. "Amazon," he said, again, like that answered it at all. That's when I noticed how quiet it was outside. The wind had died down for a moment and the snow was falling straight down. It was so silent I could hear my own ears ringing. "Hey, we're good. We didn't order anything and I'm not opening the door," I said. That's when everything changed. He slammed his fist against the door so hard the whole frame rattled. "Open the door," he yelled.